This time what we're going to test is the same thing, except I'm going to use a liver cube, and we're going to use a slightly different method. We're going to use what we call water displacement method. So water displacement works like this. I need a container which I'm going to fill with water. Not all the way to the top, but fairly close. I'm then going to take a measuring cylinder and take the bottom off, because I'm going to use this to measure the volume of oxygen gas that's produced. And how it works is I actually put it into my container so that I fill the measuring cylinder completely with water. Tip it upside down. I'm actually going to lock it in place so that my measuring cylinder is filled with water and it's upside down inside the container of water. Now I can lift it, as long as I don't lift it above the surface of the water, right, the water's not going to come out of that tube. Okay. It's stuck. There we go. Okay, so I'm holding it in place. Yeah. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the reaction inside. I think I'll just go with this. So I'm going to add in some hydrogen peroxide into here. I'm going to drop my liver into here and put the cap on, and immediately bubbles are going to go along the tube. This tube is sitting underneath here. The bubbles will go up my measuring cylinder. And what they'll do is they'll displace, they'll push the water out the way. And so we'll actually see the exact volume of oxygen gas being produced. So that's the idea. I have got a fairly large conical flask. A test tube might be better. So what I'm going to do is, I'm still going to use 6%, but I may be going to add 20 mils of it to my 100 ml conical flask. And I'm not being as exact as you would be, but you can at least see the method here. Now what I actually do is, if I can, I insert my tube in and under there, and already, because I'm moving it around, I see a couple of bubbles. It's a little bit fiddly to get set up. Once it's set up, it's good. Alright, so that's already in there. So I'm going to drop in my liver cube. Again, you will decide on the size of your cube. I've used that, it's about 2 centimetres.
Oh.
There we go. Now, you might only run that. That's filled it there. All right, and that was about 4 seconds, it's completely filled it.
That's crazy.
So you would need to play with that. You might need to get, instead of a 25 ml measuring cylinder, a bigger tray and a 50 or 100 ml measuring cylinder. This reaction, if you're going to use a high concentration, you might only run for 30 seconds instead of 2 minutes. Is that okay? Mm-hmm. So the idea is you want to get it set up so that it will displace the water but not the entire measuring cylinder. All right, so that you can measure the exact volume of gas. But do we see how it works? Mm-hmm. All right, so that's the water displacement method.